what's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business. It's Thursday, noon Central Time. That means it's time for Dispatching Live. We're going to do some search along route, trip planning, because we have a couple special guests here from Ship.Cars. They're back. They're here, actually, first time on Dispatching Live. They were on Cars on the Move a few weeks ago. We're going to take a look again at dispatching tools that you should know about. So you're going to want to catch that. Please do jump into the live chat, say hello. We will check in with the live chat. We've got some Dispatching Live industry news, memos, etc. And please do send and share your information, because this is a community. It's an ecosystem. Auto transport, technology, carriers, brokers, dispatchers, of course, and you're a part of this. So let us know what your thoughts are and what you want to share. Let's do this. Please help me wish a very warm welcome to my co-host every Thursday, Sue.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Yeah.
So, drum roll. Okay.
What do we have?
46,000.
46,000.
And 18.
Holy mackerel.
You know why? It's snowbird season.
Snowbirds. Oh.
That's why.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff in Florida. So this is the time of the year. Go to Florida. I've got a driver going there too. I'm taking cars back up to Akron area for like $900 a piece.
When do you think it kicked in?
Oh, I know when it kicked in. 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So 2 weeks ago, when it finally got warm again, it's time for the birds to fly north for the summer.
Yep, exactly.
And who are these snowbirds, right? Let's because I'm telling you there's somebody right now that does not know what we're talking about.
Probably not.
Because when I started as a dispatcher, I had a carrier say snowbirds. I'm like, is that like an RV?
Well, generally speaking, they're older, generally older people.
It's a demographic of people that
go back and forth between Florida and upper states like New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Ohio, Minnesota. All my family members that live in Minnesota are snowbirds. They go down and come back up every year.
And so
they have little trailers in like the old people places.
Fishing, and they put
golfing.
the lighted fish golfers along the rim of the RV. So if you again, and this is a good point. And on Dispatching Live, if there's a term or something you don't know what it is, I said PSI during a show, and somebody's like,
what does that mean?
What is? So whatever it is, PSI, post sale inspection, or snowbirds, which is demographic of people that every summer they move back to the Northeast and they take their cars with them, like their '68 DeVille. And then and they leave their purses in their cars. So when you book that load, make sure they got their keys and their purses or whatever.
Right.
They leave the keys with the car. And then when do they go back to Florida?
It just all depends on the weather usually,
September?
But no, they usually start
October?
October, November. Like I said, it all depends on the area they live in.
And this is a lot of people. That's another thing. This isn't like a few people.
No, this is a lot.
It's thousands.
Yes.
Which means
maybe 10,000, because we've gone up 10,000.
These are the folks with and these are the folks with money, by the way. Right? Okay. Yep. I know. Somebody somewhere was like really offended that I mentioned people with money. That'll be the next thing. You won't even be able to talk about people with money or without money, or you won't be able to say nothing. Speaking of, it is now time. Here, you know what time it is.
Yep, go for it.
I'm going to take the screen here. Ding. Where's my thing here? Okay. Please pay attention. Don't mess this up. I have a woke waiver, and I need to read it to you. Please be aware that the views and analysis provided on Dispatching Live relate to the auto transport industry as a whole and may not relate directly to ATI Auto Business, Auto Transport Intel, any affiliates, advertisers, or audience members. All viewers and participants of this content expressly waive any rights during this live program, whether in voice, chat, comment, video, or audio, and have been advised and encouraged not to say or express any opinion that may relate directly to ATI Auto Business, Auto Transport Intel, any affiliates, advertisers, audience members, or any other company or individual, and should not feel they have the right to do so. Okay, so we're clear? All right. So anyways, got that pesky thing out of the way.
Yep.
We'll just jump into the news, because then we want to get to, we really do want to get to, we have a couple guests. Ship.Cars is with us today, Daniel and Vlad, and I'm happy to have them. And Sue, we're going to have more guests. What do you think about that?
I think it's kind of cool. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Because we get to meet more people, and then also we let our audience meet more people that we deal with every day. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it is. It was neat. Ross was great last week. Speaking of, let's go say hello to the folks. Our crew, our core. Ty is in here. Of course, he loves you. And Rob, he says you're the best. And
I know. I love Rob
and Ty. Are okay.
You were okay, huh?
We're just okay. Vlad is here. What's up, Vlad? And so yeah, Rob's been busy. I love to hear that people are busy.
Yes, that's awesome.
It is great. And in that 46,000 loads, are you? Would you say business has picked up a little? Right?
Well,
okay, let's go. I'll tell you what. I'm going to stop this share. Let's go back to the load board for a second and talk about loads and load boards and business and capacity. And, because you mentioned, I mean, there it was, 46,000.
Yep.
46,000. That's a significant increase from just last week, right?
Yeah, it was 10,000 is what it is. Yeah,
wow,
it is.
But you were saying that rates, and I don't see your screen yet, but
oh, sorry, hold on.
No problem. But you're not saying that the rates. It's not like a rates extravaganza.
Well, I think it's like I said. I think it's mainly all Florida stuff that we're seeing on here. That's why the increase has gone up. I don't know if it's 10,000, but I know. There's a lot of loads on the board out of Florida.
Oh my gosh, we need a heat map. You know what a heat map is?
Yeah, we could highlight it in certain sections. Yeah.
Well, check this out. If there was a map of the U.S. and the volume of loads, the higher the volume, like the redder the color.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh my gosh, because Florida would be red hot right now. Is that right?
Right, absolutely.
Wow.
And it should continue. Probably.
Yeah.
Till the end of this month. Probably that might be it. It just depends on how many really are moving. It goes pretty fast. So you want to get in there while it's hot if you want to do the Florida run. But I will say it's hard to get down there too. To even go, take loads down there. They're pretty crappy. And
isn't that funny? Because if you ask, and this is where I know the market rate bears the market rate, etc. As true as that is, but it doesn't mean you don't pay nothing to get into Florida, do you? I mean,
I think you're gonna take a hit going in if that's what you're asking.
Right, but here's what I'm getting at: a shipper shipping cars to Florida, did they know that there's all these snowbird cars going north? How would they know to super lowball you going into Florida? Because you're gonna.
They don't. I
mean,
mean,
that's my point. So Is
that what you were trying to get at there, Jay?
I really am, because I know it's painful. Nobody wants to share their secret sauce.
Right? Well, right.
Right. I mean, nobody. I get that. But. It is notable that the average shipper wouldn't know. They could almost send you for free to take a car to Florida. Right. But when you go to the load board, that's what you'll see.
Yep.
So somebody somewhere knew something that not everybody knew. And this is actually why I like talking about snowbirds and other things, because it's a Pandora's box of information. Once you know about the box, then you open the box and you're like, wow, here's all this crazy information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting.
And you and I both know that the brokers that are listing the stuff up north going down are not like taking them for any less. Let's put it that way.
Well, this is my point. Exactly. That is my point. Exactly. They took the regular shipper money
and putting it on there
and then dropped the super low ball.
Yeah.
And now, okay, let's be fair, Sue. Now, you might take that margin and need to apply it to getting out of Florida, right?
Normally, yes, true. Yeah.
Understandable. And I mean, and this is where, like, you know, some folks will say, hey, if we need to take a hit to get the carrier the money that they need, then we will. So it goes both ways. I think what's important here also to consider is if you're a carrier and you're getting into brokering, you're going to find some of this stuff out that the broker was doing that you thought was unfair is actually part of dealing with the marketplace.
Your business. Yeah.
And so there's your double-edged sword for the day.
Well, and I was talking to one of our transporters the other day, and he wanted to know about being a broker. And you know me, I'm like, no, don't do it. And you know why he wanted to do it? Because he found out that the broker was taking like $150 broker fee.
Yeah.
And I said, really, that's not that high. I've seen way worse.
It's actually not that bad.
But the first thing he said to me, he goes, well, why should they get that money? They've done nothing. And I said, that's not true. You wouldn't have even seen that load on there.
Pause.
If you hadn't even seen that on the board, you wouldn't have had that load. And
it's
I said,
it's not nothing.
No, it's not nothing. And here's the thing. I'm on two sides of the coin
it's
because
like saying
I'm
a dispatcher
broker.
Does nothing.
Right. I'm a broker and a dispatcher, and that's why I try to explain to him. Yeah, my overhead isn't as high, but I will tell you right now, if I was just a broker, I wouldn't be able to survive. I have to do both. And that's because I also don't take huge broker fees, like mine are $50, $100, right? But if I was just a broker, I would have to raise that just to cover my overhead. And that's what I told him. I said, they have overhead just like you do. They have employees. They have, all the expenses that go with this. And I said, in getting into the broker business right now, I don't recommend. There's too many brokers as there is out there.
There are a cajillion brokers.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
there really
and half
are
of them don't even know what they're doing. Yeah.
And so the only, in fact, but I would say as a carrier, I mean, you could build a broker business, but it's much more than you realize.
Right. And it takes time.
Oh,
like
my
years.
God. Oh.
And that's what I told him, too. You're talking years before you'd have your own
yeah.
full clientele. And his idea was, I think, was that by becoming a broker, he would haul these cars. But he doesn't understand you won't just have cars in your area that you're doing. You're going to have cars all over the United States if you're a true broker, right?
That's right.
Especially so it's not today. Just fit. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, they were buying ones. I just was reading an article Tuesday night about how the dealer's like, yeah, we buy one in Oregon and one in Montana and one in Texas, and we get them all that week. And I'm like, see, no, actually, no. That's you might have bought one across the country everywhere, but but what you had to pay and what you were able to expect time-wise, that changed as well. I tell you, I have literally built a channel based on all these incorrect assumptions.
Right.
I mean,
and that's true because
it is.
And then a lot of these people think that it's so easy to get into being a broker because it does seem easy.
Yeah,
but it's really not.
I
told him he would
spend work and you go through all your leads and you count your money.
Well, and that's what I told him. He'd have to buy leads. And I said, there's people that spend $10,000 a month on leads and only get a turnover of maybe 10%. And that's lucky.
Not to mention, there are videos that show that that's what you do.
Yeah, that's the bigger problem right there. Yeah.
I can't believe, of all the things to cancel in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to stop. Jay, you went dictatorship. Okay? There's no authoritarianism. Well, there is in auto transport, but let's keep moving on. Okay. Carlos is here. What's up, Carlos? Gary at Gartha Logistics is in the house. What's up, Gary? Douglas, anything out of Manheim? Oh, Douglas has a route scout. Yeah, you want to check that? Yeah, Manheim PA. Anything? Interesting.
I'll go put it in.
Yeah, let's check. That's a good one to check because there should be some stuff. I would hope. I don't know when sale day is. That's another thing. Like,
Sale day is on. They have it like 2 or 3 times a week. I
Oh
think it's
wow!
Tuesday,
How do
Thursday,
you know
Friday.
that?
Because I have drivers up there, so I look that stuff
I mean,
up.
that's what I'm talking
And you
about.
can go right to the Manheim website, by the way, and they'll
Can
tell you.
you, like,
Yeah, I'm
can
going
you
to do it right
believe
now.
here we are in an industry of auto transporters, and nobody has any idea when any sale day is, or even what that really means.
Oops. Need the
It'd be
man.
like,
There we go.
it like when the fish, dude, the fish in the pond know when the guy comes out with the bucket of food, right? Do we do that
So,
in auto transport? No.
so if you go to any Manheim and Coparts or IAs, by the way, right here it says sale days, right?
Wow.
So,
That's awesome.
this
This could be a
this
whole show.
yeah,
Manheim sale. Well,
and you
yeah.
can go to their
Auction
sale
sale day.
schedule too.
Ooh, I
So
like
they have an
this.
exotic sale on Thursdays. They have a consignment sale on Fridays. But if you go to this tells you really when
Wow.
your auctions are. And Manheim is like one of the biggest. Manheim PA is one of the biggest auctions, obviously. So that's why you're going to have more auctions at this place than you will
Yeah.
at others.
Wow. Yeah. No, Manheim PA is one of the biggest, I
Yeah.
think. I
So
mean,
like they had one on Tuesday, they have one on Thursday, and they have one on Friday this week. Next week it's just Thursday and Friday. So I mean, you can go through here and look at all this stuff. Looks like they do one extra auction a month is what it looks like on Tuesdays if you look at this. But not all of these have this great sale calendar, just so you know. Some of them you just got to go by what their sale dates are.
so
Um,
stay there for a second. I just
sure.
before okay, Gary pointed out snowbirds are people who can afford 2 or more homes.
Yep.
So they're not dispatchers. Let's see.
Or transporters.
Right, they don't even work in auto trend. They don't even work in auto. Well, they might
No.
own dealerships.
No, they've had a very good life. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and Bold Auto Logistics, Manheim websites for specific locations have sale dates.
Yeah.
Well, and that is a great point. But how many? Let's play it. How many carriers
Go look at
are
that.
in their trucks
Okay.
searching websites to find out what sale days there are?
None.
I mean, it's none.
Yeah.
It's none, dude.
Oh.
All right. Anyways, and that's not a
IA and
crack
Coparts
against-
do the same
It's just
thing.
a comment. It's an
Yeah.
analysis of what homework we haven't done.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, IA Copart, it tells you when you go to their specific two, they'll tell you what day they're having their auctions on as well, so you can kind of figure it in. And just so everybody knows, if they have the auction that day, sometimes you'll see the loads come up immediately. Usually it's the next day, when you're going to see most of the loads. So like Mount Juliet was on Wednesday. I did get a load for my driver out of there. I will say Mount Juliet's been really slow the last 2-3 weeks.
Really? Oh no,
yeah, like
that's bad.
Yeah.
Mount Juliet, that's Nashville, right?
That's Nashville. Yeah.
Manheim,
But-
Nashville, Mount Juliet.
Yeah.
And the sales have been bad. Sales volume is down.
It must be because I mean
Well,
it's been
meaning
tough
'cause
getting out of there.
Loads getting posted, and that is a bad sign. This
Yeah.
is the kind of stuff. This is why I do industry news, because I was reading the tea leaves Tuesday night. It's not great information. It's not. Yeah, no. They're used vehicle volume is dropping. Auction sales are dropping. More onesies and twosies nationwide sold at digital auctions is going up. The whole idea that this is what's so funny. Oh my gosh, I have the funniest thing to share with everybody.
Okay.
So in 2017, when I was talking about dispatchers and wedge trailers,
Uh-huh.
full load OEM car haulers would just write me off, man. And they were able to. Dude, today, 7 years later, now this isn't, I'm not trying to brag, but there's a reason why we're talking about this stuff, because full loads are going down. The ability to just pick up a full load of cars is dropping. Now, I don't want that, but we have to stay abreast of the news, because if you're counting on hauling full loads until, the Matrix takes over, dude, you might look into that lower capacity trailer. If you're on the fence, you might look at the Sun Country Metro 4 car. The reason being, and again, I'm going to give the reason, is that when you ask around, you ask dealers what they're buying nationwide, They're buying smaller volumes across the country. And even, this is some craziness. Shout out to AutoSled that was on the Auto Remarketing podcast. Even David Spiro at AutoSled confirms that OEMs are finding it harder to move smaller volume loads from ports and rail to dealers. The full load, it's not full loads anymore. That's kind of the old. That's the old news. Now, I don't want that. But if anybody's saying that's not true, just open any automotive newspaper, if you can find a newspaper or a book, and you'll see. I mean, it's pretty wild stuff. Yeah, you can hear a pin drop right now because you won't really hear this at large meetings because people don't want to talk about this stuff. That's what ATI is here for. Okay. All right, so we're looking at Manheim PA.
Yes, that's what I put up.
All right.
Let's see what we got here. There's 3 pages, but they're not all Manheim, so it's all in that area. Let's see here. Let's make this Manheim. Let's just do a 50-mile radius and see what else we got here. Still bringing me up Bordentown and stuff like that. Let's see.
Bordentown is now Manheim's in Manheim, but Bordentown, is that nearby?
It must be within a 50-mile radius, so that's
Right.
Manheim Bordentown, or Manheim, New Jersey is what they call it. But see, it's also bringing me up Sterling and stuff like that too, which is down south of there.
So we're not saying there's a bunch of loads coming out of Manheim. Maybe they've already been taken, right?
Let's see. I'm gonna try just like a 10-mile radius and see if that helps us any. Hold on.
Yeah, and we're on Super Load Board. I'll share the information here. Let's see.
Only 6 loads on here. Let's see.
Which is interesting. Sometimes when you don't see a lot of loads, it doesn't always indicate a problem as much as a busy lane.
Yeah, because Manheim, PA, there's a lot of loads that come out of there on a regular basis, and they're usually gone as fast as they come up. And if they aren't gone, it's because the price is too low. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Okay, so there's there's 2 loads to Michigan, 1 load to Missouri. Yeah. Well, and there you go. And that is especially in that area, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've got an RV on here even, and I think that's too cheap for $1.43 a mile when you got to go, empty to go pick up and empty to come back or whatever you're doing. Yeah, there's not a lot on here.
So how do you? Okay, so this is a window into your day. How do you manage staring at loads all day, thinking that 95% are just not going to work?
Well, in general, I kind of send them to places that I know. A lot of this is from experience, and so I try to. You want to stay with major cities. If you're going to go into some place you're not sure about, you always, what we call it, look before you book. And like we were talking earlier, taking some stuff down to Houston. We all know Houston sucks. So I said, go look to see if there's anything out of there. Nothing's out of there. So don't take your driver there. Because generally speaking, there's certain areas that if it ain't there right then, it's probably not going to be there. And Houston is one of those areas. So I try to stick to major cities like Kansas City, St. Louis. And don't get me wrong, it's not a fail-safe because we can't predict what's been going on. We should have come out of this slump 2 months ago, and we're still 3 months ago, I think. And we still are in the slump is what I consider. Even if there's 46,000 loads on the board, it's like I said, it's mainly in Florida. Now, I do have a driver going into Florida. I'm already getting them out of Florida, which isn't an issue. And I have 3 drivers that live in Florida, and we haven't had an issue in the last 2 weeks getting them loaded with really good paying loads, and usually packs. So that's one of the things about dispatching is you kind of have to learn the routes. You kind of have to learn the areas you want to send them into, especially if you have a driver that wants to be home on Friday and say they live in Atlanta. that Thursday, you got to position yourself in an area that you know you can get loads to Atlanta. So that comes with experience as well. And it is tough, especially with right now. Like normally I would say, hey, I can go to Kansas City and Kansas City to Atlanta with no problem. No, there's one load on there and I try to get a hold of them when I thought I was going to send my driver to Kansas City and they won't even answer the phone. So then you have to deal with that kind of stuff too, that the loads may not even be any good because they're not answering the phone or they dispatched it 2 weeks ago and haven't removed it off the board too. So now that's not the way it is on Super Dispatch. If you ask for a load on there, generally it's good. You grab it and you go. But you cannot right now just survive on one load board. You've got to be hooked up with everybody. And as we all know, Ready Auto still is not signing up people as far as I know. I haven't heard anything different lately. Cars Arrive, I think, is on the fence. I'm not really sure if they're taking new people or not. They weren't a couple months ago, but then they are. Okay, Jen says they are again now. So, then you've got different rules for different brokers. All the big brokers have all their own rules, and some of them are placing new rules on transporters, which make absolutely no sense, which I believe Jay's going to talk about here in a second. um, and then and then you have some that won't let you haul for them for 6 months, or you have to have so many ratings on Central Dispatch. I mean, there's a whole variety of things that we did. What was it last year? We did the top 12 load boards, that kind of thing.
We're gonna yeah, we're gonna get to that. Okay, that's good. No, we did, and I was gonna say, I want to say this is I was thinking yesterday. I want to go back through the list of load boards because I think some things have changed.
Yeah,
so we'll do that list of load boards, which is also load board news. So we'll talk about that. That's how we're gonna finish the segment today. We're gonna talk about some load board news, but I want to share some craziness. That's what we do here. Have you seen these shirts?
What?
Yeah.
No.
So.
Wow.
I know.
That's some serious shit there.
and here's what's really nice. It's by Family Man Logistics.
Okay.
Nice. But it's really strange how, somebody somewhere is like, yeah, don't bully my kids or whatever. And then the same someone is like, oh, let's make these really nice sweatshirts. I don't really know, but I know when you get passionate about something, you end up at an interesting point.
Yeah.
And then you realize you've gone too far, which is pretty much what we do here. Every Thursday.
True.
But I mean, this is, pretty wild.
Yeah. That's pretty, yeah.
That's pretty wild.
I mean, I could see doing the cheap freight, but kill your local auto broker. That's a little much.
I mean, that's really wild. Yeah. No, it really is wild. And that's why, I mean.
Yeah. A little much.
Yeah. All right. So I'm leaving it on the screen because I'll never repost this. But yeah. It's pretty wild. So then there's this in hot trucking, the double broker bounty hunters. They have 75 takedowns this year. Don't be a victim of broker fraud. Let's go to the poster. Wanted. Illegal double brokers. The current load may be controlled by scammers if any of the following. Load is not factorable. Now this is freight stuff,
that's
but
not
still.
Well,
I know, right? But that's the thing. Number one, load is not factorable.
Yeah. I don't think that means anything because some factor companies will not buy the load. So it's just a fact.
And it's funny because we get into vigilante words. Setup was through blank or blank. Okay, so there's a bone to pick. Broker is asking for a copy of the BOL immediately after pickup.
Unusually frequent updates, brokers.
I mean, I don't know. Do these guys wear the sweatshirts too? This is getting weird.
Yeah, because I mean, we deal with all that crap on a regular basis.
And I'm positive the sweatshirts and the wanted poster probably are not going to appreciate me and this channel sharing it and questioning. I don't really know. I'm just speculating live. But they got 75 takedowns this year. And I think you pay them. You can give them. I don't know.
Is it different than, I mean, is freight different than car hauling? Because I mean, them sitting there saying that they're stealing from real carriers, double broker, that doesn't make sense because our double brokering is are two people listing the same car. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it
So I mean,
must
how are
be.
you,
I don't
you're
know.
not stealing anything, I guess is what I'm
And
saying. It doesn't make
and
sense to
now
me.
here's the thing: is in auto transport. I mean, we'd put, I guess we'd call the double broker bounty hunters if you were a carrier illegally posting a load.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah.
Right, there's one.
Right.
Sorry, carrier. Or how about this one? Dispatcher illegally posting a load. Okay, that's fair. Or a broker illegally brokering a brokered load, right? So,
Right. But how's a dispatcher going to list a load? They can't do that.
well, they're not a dispatcher. They're either a carrier or a broker illegally
Oh, okay.
posting a load. I mean, this is the thing: is that what
I don't.
I'm glad I brought the ELD punch today. Needed a drink. Need to calm down. Okay, let's keep moving. Pass. Hey, did you get the memo? Yeah. Well, accounts are still getting hacked apparently. Okay, so we're gonna touch upon that. But okay, this is this is your email. Hello.
Yes, sir. It is.
Hello. Hey, hello. We've recently increased our insurance requirements. We are unable to approve this certificate for the following reasons. And Sue's going to tell the story, but I'm just going to read. 1, we require at least $1 million in commercial general liability in addition to your current coverage. We must be listed as additional insured on your commercial general liability, auto liability, and cargo policy. Please complete these documents and update them, and all will be good to go. What's going on here, Sue?
So I don't know if everybody, I mean, nobody in our business very rarely carries commercial general liability. We all carry our auto liability, which is the $1 million in our cargo policy. So if they were wanting to make sure that nobody hauls for them ever again, I think they might have succeeded. Because nobody's going to go out and pay the extra, God knows how much. We all know how much regular insurance is, so add another one onto it, you know what I mean? They're not going to pay that just to haul their loads, and they don't have that many loads, so why do it, right? So, yeah, I think they successfully maybe canceled several thousand carriers.
And I'm just going to time out. I can read the woke waiver again, or you can just rewind the tape 25 minutes. But this is news, all right? In auto transport, what's one of the biggest costs that every carrier has? Anybody?
Insurance.
Insurance.
Absolutely.
All right. And it's already high.
Yeah.
So it's not like adding more isn't a big deal. It's a very big deal. Now, does the average carrier carry commercial general liability?
Sorry, say that again. It cut you out. I'm sorry.
No problem. Does the average carrier carry commercial general liability coverage?
No, they don't.
Because the average carrier carries what 2 policies?
Your auto liability for $1 million and your cargo policy, depending on how many cars you carry, is what you're going to have. Like 3 cars, 150,000. It goes up from there.
All right, perfect. And how many companies does the average carrier add as additionally insured?
I would say at the most during the year 5 to 6, because there's certain companies that I know for a fact have to have additional insured for auto liability.
Okay, and is that
most
free?
of our people, no, most of our companies have to pay. There's very few companies out there that do additional insured for free. They run anywhere from $20 to $50. I have one guy that he has to pay $50 until they get to 5, and then they're free for the rest of the year.
Right,
yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
And now that's not per certificate, but that's per year per additionally insured, right?
Well, it's per certificate.
It's
$50 per certificate.
Okay.
Like I said, my progressive is up to 5. We have to pay those, and then it's free after the 5th one from then forward for the rest of the year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've met your quota. Okay. So now let's talk about commercial general liability. We haven't even mentioned that. How much is adding $1 million in commercial general liability to an annual carrier policy for insurance? How many people even have that?
General liability?
Yeah.
None of my drivers do.
Right.
Yeah.
We
already know they're paying astronomical amounts for the other two. I mean, some people
Right.
are paying 20, some people are paying, and I mean 20,000 by the way, or they're paying 40,000 for the year. It depends on how new they are, who their driver is, how many accidents, their safety record. It all goes up and down depending on that. You know what I mean?
And the reason we're having this conversation, because I promise you there's somebody that doesn't like this conversation right now. It appears this conversation didn't happen very much before this decision was made, because I agree with you. I think a lot of carriers are going to say, what? I can't do that.
No.
I mean, your average, and this is the thing, didn't I just talk in 10 minutes ago, didn't I just say that more and more loads are onesies and twosies and not full loads?
Yeah.
This is the kind of talk I've read on full load carriers that are working with the same OEM over and over and over. That's when you get all this stuff, because your trucks are sitting on the same plant or railhead or port or something like that over and over and over. You're at the same facility over and over and over, so you get this stuff so that everybody's cool.
Right.
But if you're hauling onesies and twosies nationwide, you can't afford this.
No, you really can't.
I don't think so.
No.
But that's just one man's opinion, and I'll go back to the woke waiver if I need to. But
and I mean,
I can't stress enough how
their board is mainly onesies
aren't we
and twosies,
pointing something out that, I mean, help us out, car hauling community. Isn't it true what we said? I mean, this is help Rob. Here we go. We have 1 million. Okay, Rob has it, so Rob can haul for them.
Right. Does he want to, Rob?
Oh, but wait. And it costs us for one truck and one driver $9,800.
A month?
I don't think it's a month. We have
God,
1
you're paying
million
that for the
general
year.
liability.
Holy crap, Rob. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rob's been in business for a really long time, though, so that might be why he's getting that kind of rate.
Time, that's the thing. I mean, this is all indications would point to this is an automaker customer. But how many loads are available that I might book that really don't need all this insurance?
Exactly, almost all of them.
Probably most of them.
Yeah.
So
we know they're working with Carvana, right?
Well,
maybe that's what their plan is. I
don't listen. I'm not going to get into company names, but and we're going to move on. But this is really important stuff because, and plus, not to mention, didn't you find this out the hard way when you were trying to book the load?
Well, kind of. Well, no, not booking the load. So
you were updating your insurance or whatever?
Well, yeah, I updated my insurance 4 months ago, and I'm just finally getting this email because every time I call them, they say it's not set up, not set up, not set up. Well, they never once told me that over the last 4 months, and then I just finally got that. And then we got it from some other people we were trying to sign up with them and got that too. So...
we'll keep moving because we got to get to our guests. Scammers set up a new fake car auction. Scammers.
Really?
Criminals have launched a scam auction site. I think this is a story out of London, but what happens in Europe ends up happening here. Car dealer reported a fake car sales website that had a convincing and detailed front. Website was selling cars below price. And so let's see here. Their goal is to get customers to part with their deposit without ever seeing a car. Does this, right? There are digital auctions. I'm not calling out digital auctions, but scammers are everywhere, man. It is getting insane. In fact, this just got shared. I'm going to roll a video here in a second. Here, this guy just shared this morning. The new rating system is absolutely destroying any credibility the board had left. No accountability, no protection, flat out garbage. The scammers are... Somebody was... Oh, and then he replied. Yeah, he replied, actually, that scammers... Shoot, man, I thought I had that comment, too, but I guess I didn't. Let me see if I can just read it off the website.
I agree with the whole rating system thing, though. I agree with
that. That just this, yeah. Oh, no, wait, it was a Facebook post. Where's that at? Let's see.
Oh, by the way, we took a load from a broker this week, and he
Ah.
said his account got hacked off of Central and the car got stolen.
Yeah, so I was reading, gosh, did I read that this morning and I didn't even share it now? It could be, oh yeah, okay. I'm going to pull this up. Here we go. I got it right here. I read this morning. Anyone from Central Dispatch here? This isn't even fuzzed out because I literally just read this morning. Here. And this is on autotransporteverything.com. Anyone from Central up here? What do you think the answer to that is?
Yes, but not letting us know.
Okay. It's good guess. Let me see if I can make it seem better. A lot of scams going on with fake brokers and carriers on your platform. Proof can be provided if you reach out to me. Some of the drivers in the group that are getting scammed by triple brokered loads. Wow.
Huh.
The more I look up each company, the more I find running this scam with them. Every company has comments under the rating, and when you start looking at each of those that left comments, the more scammers you find.
Okay, so here's my question though. By
crazy.
Scammers, he's saying triple, double brokered. I don't really consider them scammers. They may suck, but
yeah,
what they're doing is they're buying leads, and then they're selling leads to all these same people. And if you notice, they all run in groups. There's certain companies that always list the same cars. Every time you see the one, you see 3 more right behind them. And they always do the crap with, well, will you do it for less money? So they put it on for more than everybody else. You call them, they say, well, my customer won't pay that much. They'll do it for this. And then you tell them, well, it's listed by this, and this. Well, we really have the contract. So I don't know if it's totally a scam because you can still get the load. You know what I mean? I don't know how you want to read that one.
Well, this is the problem. And you point, I mean, it's a spectrum. Everything's a spectrum.
Right.
Nothing's a light switch. Everything's a spectrum. So you've got Shady to Scammy to flat out fraud.
Right.
And so we need to have that in mind. So, yeah, some loads are shady. Some things are very scammy, and some stuff is flat out fraud. So, I mean, if you're triple brokering, I'm going to put that under fraud. But if you're, like, super lowballing, and then somebody takes it, that's shady scammy. Am I right?
I mean, if you decide to take the load for what it is, it's kind of on you, right?
Well, that's what's funny. Exactly. If you ultimately take a lowbally scammy and you move it back to shady, wow. I smell an Eminem album. All right, let's keep going. But this guy said, here, I fuzzed this out. This company's not paying their bills. You know, it's wild. Can you imagine, like, seeing your company name posted? Your company's not paying their bills. You know, like, wow.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is that load board has become such a, like, you know, when I see, like, I saw another headline, like, shop, or, I don't know what I don't even know how you categorize. Folks break into Gucci store and steal $125,000 worth of purses. Have you seen headlines like that? Like, nobody cares about shoplifting anymore. Did you know this? You can shoplift.
Walmart.
I guess you can shoplift. I don't know. It's weird. I mean, like, cities are shutting down. Walmarts are leaving cities because they can't control the shoplifting. Which is...
Right. I think Chicago shut down, wasn't it?
Right. I mean... That's a real thing. I didn't make that up. And when I guess who I think of when I see that kind of stuff? Like, that's what it's become. You can do whatever you want. This saloon barroom brawl wrestling ring that I used to talk about has become a shattered glass Chicago empty store on fire. I mean, it's nuts. And is it going to get better? Because if these guys will set up fake websites for auctions, what's next? I sound like a snowbird upset on his front lawn. Hey, kids! Get those kids out of here. Hey, speaking of, let's do this. Man, I told you it would be late, but I knew it would be worth it. Do me a favor, stick around right after this.
Still waiting for the
it's a little early for the drum roll. Stick around right after this. We're going to be live with Daniel and Vlad of Ship.Cars. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be right back.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verifications of loads where nobody ever answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021, or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
Ship.Cars, intelligent car shipping made simple. Auctions and dealerships get ready to modernize drive-away dispatching. As part of the auction experience, Ship.Cars now offers drive-away to help shippers dispatch small loads with ease. Moving single vehicle loads typically requires a lot of time, paperwork, and phone calls. With drive-away, shippers create loads in LoadMate Pro and dispatch directly to drivers, who are notified automatically, eliminating manual calls and paper dispatch. Once the load is in transit, shippers receive progress updates until delivery. Ship, dispatch, track, and deliver single vehicle loads for auctions and dealerships. LoadMate Pro, shipper platform. Visit Ship.Cars. Auctions and dealers modernize drive-away dispatching with intelligent car shipping tech. Ship, dispatch, track, and deliver with LoadMate Pro shipper platform. Visit Ship.Cars. And on that, I do wish a very warm welcome to Daniel and Vlad of Ship.Cars are with us.
Hello, hello.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, everyone.
All right, welcome back.
Very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Very
Great to
excited
see
to
you.
be on the show for a second time in like 2 weeks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's awesome. How's that feel?
Pretty good. I mean, we like sharing about what we do here at Ship.Cars, how we try to help carriers. So today on Dispatching Live, we will primarily talk about what are the things that can help a dispatcher and a carrier overall in their day-to-day business.
All right. Well, gentlemen, take it away. Daniel, please say hello and add to Vlad's conversation.
Really hard to add on to that, though. I can start by introducing myself. Yes, we were here 2 weeks ago when we released a brand new feature for our industry, the Virtual Trip Planner. And we did that little demo. So if anybody missed it, yeah, go back to that show. Please watch this because it is a game changer for a lot of people. And you mentioned a while back that full loads are getting fewer and fewer. So definitely check out the Virtual Trip Planner. It's going to be worth it. It will help you out when you have some splits and yeah, fill up some empty spots.
You know,
So
I
yeah.
had a feeling that when I said that, I was thinking of you guys because it's true. And it's also one of the reasons it's also really important is that it draws attention to, and everyone is saying this, when you're picking up loads for a customer, you're going to find you have to drive further for that customer.
Right.
And so, which means it gets even harder to put that, what was once a running lane, to put that together. It's because it's stretched out now.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll get into a little bit detail into that again later during this conversation. So I just wanted to mention we will not be getting into like a demonstration again because we see that people are getting used to it already. So we know it works and it will only get better in time. So yeah.
Awesome.
We are here to interact with the real carriers today. So if you have questions, you can ask them in the live chat. So basically, just to give you an overview of what we will try to talk about today. So Ship.Cars, it's an end-to-end platform for carriers. It starts from a load board where a dispatcher can find the best loads, negotiate the best prices. We are also very into helping carriers build partnerships with shippers and vice versa. We already mentioned this virtual trip planner, which helps a dispatcher to build a profitable trip, to be able to find the best loads, to reduce empty miles. We will briefly also mention about our airport application. So basically, once a dispatcher does their great job with the trip, they can just hand over the trip to the driver, and then the driver has a very straightforward way to pick up and deliver the vehicles, do the inspection to the report, generate all these paperless bill of ladings, and also all of these status updates for the road are propagated back to the dispatcher and also to the shipper. So this is kind of everything we will try to cover. We'll keep it short. As I said, we'll be happy to answer questions, dig deeper if something is of interest. So
We don't have a ban.
Yeah. Sorry?
she's always doing business, so she's talking to one of her dispatchers. Hey, hey Sue,
Yes.
if you've got courtesy mute, go ahead and hit mute. Vlad, please continue.
I already did.
Oh, thanks. All right, cool.
So this is actually a good intro. The next thing that I want to mention are basically the loads that are on our load board. Basically, we have a healthy mix of shippers that are posting every day on our load board. As you mentioned in the beginning of the show, we're kind of entering high season, so the loads are increasing. So this healthy mix of shippers, we have auctions, we have dealerships, we have brokers. We kind of try to have all kinds of shippers, so we can kind of ensure that there is a healthy competition in terms of prices. We also have in-app negotiation, so with just a click of a button, a dispatcher can send an offer for a particular load and get the load dispatched. What is also a differentiator for our load board is that we work with our shippers a lot. In other load boards, one of the main problems is that, yeah, you can send an in-app negotiation, but the shipper never replies, or they reply with a delay, which kind of problem. So basically, we tell the carrier upfront, hey, the average reply time for this shipper is 40 minutes, so this is what I expect, or this shipper prefers phone calls, and so on. So we basically try to not kind of waste time of the carrier. And I mean, to be honest, most of our shippers actually reply in kind of less than 30 minutes. So this in-app negotiation on our load board kind of really saves time and allows the dispatcher to reduce the useless phone calls, basically.
And a quick note from me with all that. So online negotiation, it's all about speed, and it allows carriers to pretty much send offers to multiple loads, and that helps the carrier, though it also helps the other side. And talking about these little saving time, it's what makes shippers actually get into that agreement when working with technology providers like us. When they get the status updates automatically, when they get the BOLs with electronically signed documents with the photos, with geolocations and stuff. So this allows them to, once they get that proof of delivery immediately, to actually have that quick pay deal. So they're getting the payment in 2 days, like 24, 48 hours with no additional fees. And that's just because of the efficiency that they're getting in return. Just wanted to add that in.
Yeah, and also this kind of payment comes with no additional fees. These are special partnerships that we have with most of our shippers that are posting on our load board. So if you use our ePort application, which we will talk about a little bit more later, if you use it, basically you can get paid in 1 to 2 days, which is extremely important we know that these times are tough, and cash flow is king. What else is important, especially for the carriers that are about to register to Ship.Cars? We have a very unique approach to carrier vetting and compliance. So basically, our carriers literally can register in under 2 minutes. They can self on board for additional 5 minutes, and on the 10th minute they can go on the load board and find a load that can fit their trip. How we achieve this? We actually have a very unique approach here. So we're trying to facilitate, as I already mentioned, building the relationships between shippers and carriers, and the only way actually to build trust between the shippers and the carriers is not to have a center party that pretty much does the vetting, but we kind of want the whole community to be able to verify that this is a good carrier, or this is a reliable shipper. So this is one thing that is also unique. So we also believe that carriers kind of should vet shippers too. So it's very important for a carrier to be sure that they will receive their money once they do their job, especially if it's not COD. So we allow carriers, to actually see everything about the shipper. The shippers have profiles in our system, so they can see if they are paying on time, what is the experience of other carriers with the shipper, what is the volume of the shipper, what are their requirements, and so on. So carriers can feel assured that once they send an offer, pretty much this is a shipper that they can rely on. So as already mentioned, our approach here is to actually remove any barriers to the carrier. So we believe that the carrier needs to be able to sign up, upload all their compliance documents on their own, and from that point on, they can start booking. So during this self-onboarding process, they upload all the needed compliance documents, and the shippers, at the time of receiving an offer, can immediately basically see these documents and decide if they will work with this carrier or not, and if they will verify it for themselves. But you understand, basically, when a shipper does their verification process on a certain carrier, everything that the carrier does then pretty much is used by all other shippers. So we can call this kind of crowd verifying, which is actually very good because it allows us to have our shippers always, our carriers, and their document packages regarding compliance always up to date. Because if they're doing day-to-day business on a load board, they're working with shippers. These shippers have different compliance processes. Some are more strict, some are looser. But the end result there is that if 10 shippers actually think that a certain carrier is good, and vice versa, 10 carriers think that the shipper is good, pretty much you can believe this community. So we really believe in building this community. We invest a lot in it, and feedback for now is very good. The carrier is in total control of everything that they upload in terms of compliance documents. They can see the status of what they have uploaded at any given point of time, and pretty much we take care of everything else. If, for example, they need to change their insurance policy that they have uploaded, once they upload the new version, we pretty much update all the shippers that they are working with automatically, so less hassle for the carrier. They don't need to actually kind of think of, hey, have I shared with this shipper or not, or have I actually given the latest one to shipper X? So we really kind of take care of that, and carriers like it.
Right. Thank you, Vlad. Daniel, yeah, go ahead.
Well, we got into vetting, though. Let's talk about actually looking for loads, getting them on the truck. Vetting, of course, is important. We are still working a lot into speeding things up. And talking about speed again, let's talk about the search along route. Now, it is pretty much everywhere now. Being able to search along route, we did an experiment actually. We tried to push it forward a little bit, and it turned out that it actually had a great results into carriers. So now a lot more carriers actually resorted into using search along route. It actually gives more results at once. And if once they start playing around with the sorting, highlighting, with all the additional filters, it is possible to find what you're looking for with a single search. While for the conventional way with states and stuff, it usually requires a bit of knowledge to see what is the popular area on the map, so that well, it needs experience. And we talked a little bit during the last conversation about getting new carriers on board. With the search along route, it is one step closer to these newcomers to kind of like get these good opportunities booked and up on their trailer, which brings us up to the trip planner again, because it is a tool that brings a very visual way for a dispatcher to build a trip. So once they start picking up the good picks, like these berries.
Mind if I share the image of that? Because I did bring this up. Is this right?
Yes.
Can I show that? The trip planner, right?
Yeah. If let's keep it. Let's keep it. All right.
Okay,
so,
great. Yeah, I thought it was really helpful and informative.
And thank you for that.
It makes my mind understand very quickly what it is that we're trying to talk about.
Exactly. Yeah. So once a carrier dispatcher sees a good load, they may not go ahead and book it right away. Okay. So they may want to see how that load would fit in on their entire trip. So once they add it to their vote, and then they drag the pickup and then the delivery, because they are two separate stops, we see them to the left. So we have the pickup stops, and then we start dropping them off. Okay. So once you create that trip plan, it creates that chart you see in the middle, with the colorful lines. So all of these lines, every line is a spot on your trailer, and it shows you when your spot is getting filled up, and then as you're dropping it off, it frees up that spot. So you start to have an empty spot on your truck. So as your trip progresses, and you start booking these loads, and at some point you may leave a spot empty for a certain amount of miles, or late cancellations, because they always happen, right? So that empty spot, if you subscribe for these notifications, so it's on the map to the right. There is that email icon. So once the dispatcher subscribes for notifications, it will allow the trip planner to kind of like look for load opportunities automatically, which of course means less miles traveling with an empty spot, which helps for the total trip revenue. And that's what we're here for. We want to make these loads move faster, and for carriers to get the money for the whole trip. For every mile, pretty much.
It's interesting you said it, because there is, in a highly functioning system, everybody should win. The loads move faster, which is what the shipper wants. The carrier stays loaded. That's what the carrier wants. And then the technology facilitates that, which is what you want. You want you want the technology to be busy and running, so that everybody wins. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah,
and if the technology isn't busy and running, then there may be something in the technology that needs to be.
Exactly. Basically, this trip planner, it's useful for all kind of dispatchers. So if you're a very experienced dispatcher, it just saves you time. You will be able to find this load, but why you do need to kind of run 10 searches? You can do it with just one, using the search along route and then planning the trip. And also the same thing for dispatchers with less experience. We are all for new carriers basically entering the market. So we are also trying to help them. I mean, all these tools are helpful for both profiles.
And one important note, because we share the screen from the Ship.Cars having the trip planner there, it actually works with loads from all sources. So it could be a load from another board. It could be a load that has come to you by email. Somebody texted you, somebody called you. They gave you a couple of zip codes. You can add the load candidate, see if that load makes sense for you to book it. And you can make that decision right over there on the phone, and you won't worry about overbooking, because that also happens. And now, thanks for giving this note about helping everybody win, because yes, winning, growing business also comes with a lot of responsibility, with communication especially. Now, just to close the note about the trip planner, once one is done and you have all the loads booked and you assign a driver, it gets that trip plan sent directly to the driver app, so they know what your plan is and they start executing. And then you don't have to send all these text messages with zip codes, with notes about, text messages about certain criteria, because you have the load information sent to their app, and the driver notes, the dispatcher notes, everything is right over there in one place. So it saves communication. And as the trip progresses, then comes the status updates. Once the driver gets to a pickup location, of course, they can pull up the app, do a pickup inspection. That will generate a notification, instant notification to you as a dispatcher, and then it could also be sent to your to the shipper. And yeah, that comes with they appreciate that. They don't bother you to ask for status update later on, because they are getting this immediately.
Yeah.
So you this way you can use that time to do more stuff, and you can even take care of another driver even.
Well, you can focus on putting out another fire, because there's always plenty to do in transportation and logistics. But I think that the facilitation of communication of just one load, where everybody wants to know, I got that dude, where's my car, the guy on the phone. For every car on your trailer, you can be getting that phone call. You don't have time for 9 phone calls. But if you can just reply to a text, just like you do when the dentist wants you to confirm an appointment, you just press Y and you're good. You don't have to call the dentist office. The dentist doesn't have to call you. And it's interesting how, again, why we even need to point this out, I don't even know. Because it's everything else has advanced technology. But there's this belief that you're being intruded upon by GPS or whatever. And I say those things too, because we have a lot of expectations of communication, but we don't want to share any information, which also means siloed technologies of so many companies in this industry. But there needs to be more open integration, just like if you get a load from somebody else, you need to be able to use it in this flavor of ice cream. It's not a problem. It's for the customer, the carrier, and the ecosystem. So break down those walls and try to play together, right? And that's what you're doing. I mean, you're trying to help facilitate the integration of technology on behalf of the ecosystem. And that's, there's an applause button in there.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, what you said is completely true. So we have the kind of the same kind of thinking, but what we also try to do is also put the control also in the driver's hands, because you mentioned, I mean, the drivers sometimes they're afraid of sharing their location. They're afraid to share different information regarding their whereabouts, and that's completely valid. So basically, we put the control in driver's hands. I mean, we do offer a way for GPS tracking. So basically, the dispatcher can see where the driver is at any given point of time. I mean,
so I had an idea on this GPS thing. Can it be done Can a GPS be set just during business hours? So when it's 6:01, nobody can see that the driver went to somewhere.
I will be happy to share. We actually already have this. So
you
we
have
call this.
that?
Yes,
Already
we call
have
this.
that, Jay.
We
Really?
call this off duty. So basically, the driver can set themselves on duty, which automatically cuts all the location updates back to the dispatcher. So we already have this. The driver is in control of that. When I was mentioning control, this is one of the things. So first of all, the driver is the one that says, "Yeah, you can track me." I mean, we don't do anything. If the driver doesn't approve this explicitly. And also the tracking is, I mean, pretty much we track the load, not the driver. So basically the tracking starts from the point of pickup and automatically ends at the point of delivery. And the driver at any given point of time can just set themselves off duty. They can actually set a timer. I mean, I will be off duty for the next 12 hours.
You can probably set it in the app or whatever, right?
Yes,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
Just with a few clips, yeah.
Off-duty GPS. That's going to be my new middle name.
Yeah. And actually, this is a good time to share a little bit more about this import application. So as Daniel mentioned, once a trip is built and the dispatcher assigns the trip to the driver sees the trip in their app automatically. The good thing is that we know that changes happen. There are late cancellations by the shipper or whatever, so there are changes to the trip plan. Whatever the dispatcher does, it automatically updates what the driver sees in real time, which again reduces all necessary communication that needs to happen over the phone. So our app pretty much allows the driver to do pickup and delivery inspections. I mean, it has a lot more functionality, but the main thing that they use it for is pickup and delivery inspections. So we have a very easy process for pickup and delivery inspections. The good thing is that once these inspections are done by the driver, this information goes back to the dispatcher in terms of vehicle images, BOL automatically. The trip is updated accordingly. So this is very good. Also, all this inspection comes with geotagging technology, which helps with fraud and post claims and kind of expensive insurance. So this is kind of additional value. But what I want to actually share with you also regarding the app is something that we introduced a couple of months ago. And we believe, at least for the moment, we're the only one that we offer this. We call it AI damage inspection, which pretty much allows a driver to just take images of the vehicle as they usually do. And after that, they don't need to actually perform a manual inspection, go around the vehicle, mark all the damage manually. Basically, what we do is we run cutting edge technology on top of these images, and we find all the damage on the vehicle automatically. Why it's useful? Well, we have data to prove it, and we know that this reduces the time for inspection from roughly around 5 minutes to less than 2 minutes. That's one. And second, basically this AI damage report that is generated, I mean, it reduces the amount of error, it eliminates the risk, and pretty much it helps the driver. The other thing here again, and you'll see that I'm kind of repeating myself. I mean, at the end, the control is to the driver. So basically, when we run this report and we kind of say, hey, this is the list of damage we have found, I mean, the driver can either change them, they can delete them, they can add new ones. So the driver is always in control, and that's pretty much what we believe our system needs to be. We are tools that help the drivers and the dispatchers, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Our report application. What's our report application?
So I was reading the chat.
Yeah, no, I kind of went over the deep end. You know, it's interesting. Text without context is terrible. So let me read this. Katerina was saying, you know, talking about how drivers like paper and what I went way too far, Jay. Just give myself the. It's terrible. But I said, do they? So they also like snail mail, fax machines, and beepers too. Now, my point is this, is that as a service provider, they still use their phones and takes pics. Yeah. The thing is, as a service provider, like if Amazon said, yeah, great, thanks for that purchase, we'll have it to you in a couple weeks. I'd be like, what? And so as a service provider, there's going to be somebody. There has to be somebody that's receiving a car, and then they get the piece of paper and the cardinal, and then you take your copy, and they're going to say, what? And that's my point, is that it's not always about what we want. It's part of what our customers expect.
Though we can have Katerina covered, okay?
Yeah.
So
thank you.
You've mentioned
Sorry, Katerina.
inclusion, and you've mentioned integration. So we can integrate even the drivers who were used to just using paper, slowly but surely. And with the Ship.Cars tools a dispatcher is using, they're always in control. And that being said, as soon as they have the update that a load is being picked up, delivered, they can update the status manually. This will again trigger all the notifications we've been talking about to the shipper, so reduced phone calls still. And then that way, the dispatcher can still have the advantage of the trip planner, booking online, sending all the loads, because the application could still be a great tool for communication, sending the load info, locations, dispatch notes instead of text messages, so that everything can be in that one place. And still, if the driver uses paper, they can snap the photo, and this will be also included in the notification. So this way, the dispatcher can get the best out of it and slowly integrate the driver into the whole thing.
And and I just asked the question about a printer in the truck. I actually think printers in trucks are a great idea. That way you can do printer scanner. You can still navigate the paper world while collaborating with the digital world.
It's a mix, yeah.
So, anyways, but I don't know if people do that anymore. It seems like printers in trucks were a thing about, I don't know, 7 years ago?
They still do. We make documents available quickly
good.
for
Katerina
the driver.
doesn't hate me. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Katerina.
Yeah, so we make the documents always available for the driver with that share button print. They can do it all.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, and that's one of the neat things is that, I'll tell you on that note, man, do I love, well, I'll just go to camera and boy, oh boy, do I love my Samsung GS22 or whatever it is. When you take a photo and it's a document and you can hit the scan button, that's amazing. It's only on recent devices, but have you seen this?
You remind me of too many people.
Right.
So last time we talked, I've mentioned I started being the support person. So I've been talking with like hundreds, thousands of drivers, dispatchers, and yeah, you remind me of so many people when I show them something and hey, this is so cool.
It's the greatest thing. Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, this
which
actually
means technology has its place.
Right.
Right. People love great tech.
Yeah, and we strongly believe that technology is there to help, and some people need more time in order to adopt it. Some other are very quick to adopt it, but still technology is there to help, and yeah, technology makes you more efficient. I just want to mention you actually talked about a very important topic before we joined. We were watching the live show before that. So you were talking about the recent increase of carrier accounts being hacked. So actually, we are aware of this problem, and we have an amazing support team, a dedicated team that is constantly monitoring for such carriers. The interesting thing is that actually, from our perspective, it's very easy to identify when a carrier account has been hacked. I mean, there is an abnormal activity for this carrier. For example, the carrier has been serving like 5 lanes up to yesterday, and now he's sending offers for like 20 different lanes. So that's what scammers do. So basically, we have a dedicated team and a proprietary technology that is constantly monitoring for this, and we are helping basically the carriers recover their access if their account has been hacked pretty much sooner than they even realize that their account has been hacked. But we can kind of say that this is actually a problem in the recent weeks and months.
Daniel, can you add to that?
So I was thinking, thank you for the, I don't remember the name, fortunately, to the company that was really helpful working with us to kind of like develop this, understand the real issue behind this, how this happened. So we kind of built this thing fast, and we don't have too many occasions, but now we're ready. And again, we have this monitor, so.
Yeah, and actually, shout out to our amazing support team. I mean, they are always underappreciated, but basically, our support team is always there to help. We have phone and chat support, and any care that may have a problem, they can always reach out, and they help. They always help.
I want to give a shout out to the developers, right? And I know, like, I mean, you know how many, right? There's a lot of people that go into the day-to-day grind of building these products, and it's not talked about. Just like when there's an OEM conference and an OEM's like, hey, I just want to give a shout out to the carriers, the hard workers hauling the vehicles. How about a shout out to the developers that build this stuff? Huh?
I was talking with my team after the last show. They were so happy to see the trip planner actually being introduced into the world.
Were, right? And wow, it works. It's like watching an aircraft go into the sky. You're like, wow, we have liftoff. Yeah,
we couldn't have done it without them. So
yeah, no, and it's nonstop. It's not like they then get to celebrate and go party. Now they have more work to do.
That's the reward.
It never ends. So yeah, no, tough stuff. And and support team, right? Because then the support team has to manage, hey, this isn't working, or I like this, I love this, or this, and then they have to go back and give that information to the developers, and that's more meetings and time. There's really a lot that goes into this stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and then the designers of the interface, right? You not only have the hard coders building the pipes and the structure, but then you have the designers. It's just amazing.
By
all
the way,
work that goes in, yeah.
You touched design, and we like working with carriers a lot because after all, we are designing our products for them. And a shout out to all the carriers that also help us with their feedback, with their thoughts, and
that's real.
And that's years already, and we can't wait to even meet more of them and make this sort of like a community, so we could get more and more feedback timely, so that we always make sure we are building the right product.
So if you haven't already dove into it, dive into the Ship.Cars technology and let them know. That's what's great about having you here is, we get to see you and talk to you. You're in it day to day, and we appreciate you guys taking the time. Let's go to final thoughts. Was there anything you wanted to add that we didn't touch upon?
No, I think we managed to cover everything. We had fun. Hopefully, this was helpful to all the people that were here. So yeah, we will be happy to join even more shows and talk more about Ship.Cars and our tech.
Daniel,
I could say we can talk here like all night, but just to summarize, it is available for everybody. You can go ahead, open Ship.Cars, doesn't-have.com, log in, or create a profile. As Vlad mentioned earlier, you can start posting offers in 10 minutes. Just log in, drop your documents into your profile so that companies would know who you are, and they could actually pay attention. And start booking, play around with the trip planner, see how it works, and say hi to the support team. They would be more than happy to walk you through it all.
Awesome. And I just want to say, I know this was beneficial because just seeing more of the teams, of the companies that we've heard of, and then hearing folks talk and share information, it's wonderful. It's great stuff. So thank you once again for joining us and sharing information. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right, cool.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
so we'll put you back in the green room. Try the shrimp cocktail, and maybe leave me a quesadilla. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks so much. That's awesome.
Thank you,
Yeah. So Sue, now I
Yeah.
know you were able to get a little bit of work done there as well too, and feel free to share your screen.
Yeah, I was listening and,
Yeah.
and doing the same thing, answering questions. So yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'll
Yeah,
keep
you don't
the
need me,
screen.
right?
I'll keep.
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
screen.
say you got more stuff to show.
And we only have about 5 minutes left. That was really that, you know, it's interesting. I really like hearing, and this goes to everybody. A news flash. And by the way, I feel this is important. If you've been in the news and you feel slighted, come on the show. We've already proven this, right? When we first touched upon accounts getting hacked, then we brought some more folks on to clarify and explain. That applies to anything in this show that's been talked about, or any other show. Because the only way we're going to get anywhere is if we talk, right? Isn't that weird about talking? You know, like somebody will say, I need to talk to you. And even though you're like, apparently that's the only way to resolve something. I mean,
Well,
you know, in a civil manner.
Yeah,
Right?
there you go.
Right? Because it can
Without
get
guns and
uncivil.
weapons.
Right. But, or, you know, can we talk? You know, all right, yeah, let's talk. Because if we don't talk and we assume, that leads to other emotions, which leads to other to other things. All right. Hey, if you missed Tuesday night's show, Shipper Carrier Marketplace with Auto Hauler Exchange, that was an awesome show. We met the Auto Hauler Exchange team, got to learn more about their tech. Man, there are so many tech changes coming up, which is another reason why if you've kind of been sitting on your tech, that wasn't a metaphor, but I suppose it could be.
It was. I agree.
If you've been sitting on your tech, man, you might either want to update it or just get out of the way, because there is so much new and change coming. It's pretty cool. NIADA Accelerate 2023. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow on Cars on the Move. We're going to be at NIADA next month, and we're talking about why NIADA. Listen, if you're in car shipping, you want to talk to independent dealers. And if you don't want to talk to them, listen to them talk, or find out how others are getting their business. I'm just going to leave that there. We're going to be talking about more about that. Again, that's NIADA Accelerate 2023. We will be there next month. And this is pretty cool. Who's at NIADA? Why, Jay? Why am I going to go to NIADA? Oh, I don't know. 90% are dealers? And who's got cars? Anyways. Lucky Load. Don't forget, you could be the Lucky Load winner.
Haven't won it yet.
Oh, well, I don't think anybody's won it yet.
Bummer.
I know. So
I just took 2 off of the Super Dispatch board while we were working,
no
so I'm
kidding.
hoping.
Now,
yes.
By the way, to be a Lucky Load winner, I think you have to be a verified carrier and signed up for SuperPay.
Well, see, does it say you have to be signed up with SuperPay?
So, and we're going to get clarification. This is a new program, so we'll get clarification. Right. But I think so. But you know, let's get clarification. In fact, you know where we can get clarification.
Is Ben on here?
So Vin is going to be actually. So Vin's going to be our guest next week.
Oh, okay.
Ahead of his June 6th SuperPay webinar.
Okay.
So you want to get signed up. Get signed up for the SuperPay webinar. I put the link in the live chat. Get signed up for the webinar. Yep, click it.
couple weeks ago, a couple weeks from now, right?
It's June 6th, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Hopefully that doesn't coincide with Dispatching Live. That would be painful.
I'm not sure. I didn't know when 6 fell on.
Oh, it's on a Tuesday.
Week. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no conflict there.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Actually, I need to sign up for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to click on it and see what happens. Okay, I'm putting in my name. Yep. Let's see here. Putting in my name. Putting in my email address. What's my... let's see here. And... Okay, it's going to be Vin and Scott. And I clicked register. Bam! Look at that. Look at this. I'm registered. I'll be there. So, get signed up for the webinar, and I'll see you there, bro. What's up? Discover our newest SuperPay enhancements. Starting in June, we'll introduce payment term options process as quickly as one day, up to 5 or 10 days. Claim your free spot. And this is for carriers, brokers, shippers, dispatchers, bang hangs, and everybody. Okay. I haven't said that word in a coon's age. Yeah.
A coon's age, huh?
A coon's age. Can you still say that one?
Well, yeah, good point. I didn't even think about that.
Right? My God.
Yeah,
well, I better use up these words while I still can. If you see that, it's the podcast. It's ATI Auto Business. Don't forget, if you are just darn confused, or you just you want to rage quit, call or text on 417-483-2764. I'm always looking for something I've never said before, and I can promise you I've never said rage quit live on Dispatching Live. It's the Car Shoot Business channel, and we are here every Thursday, and we made it. We got to our normal 90-minute, but
yep.
you add gas and news and consternation. And that's what you get.
Another big word.
So, you can't play Scrabble with me, Sue.
That's for sure. Well, maybe if we have a lot of Bud Light, how about that?
Oh, yeah, there she got it. Did you see this? I saw somebody post a case of Bud Light is giving away a $20 rebate, and the case costs $19.98. So
my.
They're giving it away.
Yeah.
I mean, because there really has to be a problem at this point. They're like, we need to move this stuff. It's going to go bad. I mean,
true.
What are we going to do? And I was at Walmart. Okay, I'm at Walmart. This is so funny. Somebody had said they loved the after show. This is it. I'm at Walmart, and I was standing in the beer aisle, and I was laughing. I literally did. I'm walking along, craft beers, this and that. Truly, there's...
Yeah.
I got to the Bud Light. It was fully stocked. Oh my God.
Up to the ceiling?
I mean, I was laughing. If I didn't, I don't know. I could have made a TikTok or something, but I'm like, people are like, who's this old guy? But, and there was more Bud Light at the end. There was so much freaking Bud Light. Oh, my God. And I was reading, then Miller Lite did something. I don't know what they did. Dude, guys, if you are in beer, don't say a word right now.
No, you're right.
Just sell it. Just sell the dang beer. No horses. No, nothing. Just sell the beer.
Oh, bye.
Oh, God, that is so funny, dude. Right? Exactly like, somebody over at Rolling Rock is like, what should we do? Nothing.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
The beer. Oh, my God, it's so funny, dude. All right, tomorrow we got the NIADA show on Cars on the Move. That's going to be great. Tuesday night, we have NIADA back on Tuesday night. I'm telling you, NIADA convention. Let me share the link. It's, we're trade show crazy, but this one is a little different. They're all a little different. And at NIADA, this place is independent dealers. If there's a dealer you can talk to, it's the independent dealer. It's just like if there's an auction you can talk to, it's the independent auction. These are smaller, less intimidating outfits where you have a better chance of actually doing business and being able to help them. So independent dealers are moving less cars, more buy here, pay here, and they're too busy to do it all themselves. Now, there are some guys doing it themselves, but I ask the question, can a full-time independent dealer really handle their own car hauling all the time? No way.
Yeah.
No way.
No.
So they're approachable, they could probably use your help, and this is an opportunity to grow business. NIADA in Las Vegas in June, and it's not that expensive. I mean, you got to pay to go, but I think it's like $500.
Oh, yeah.
That's not that bad at all. Shoot. Do you know how much it costs to go to Finished Vehicle Logistics for a day and a half?
What?
$3,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But
those are OEMs. I mean, it's
Oh.
a different deal.
Yeah, that is different.
I mean, but even used car week for a week, it's like $2,000 to $3,000.
Wow.
So NIADA might be the most affordable show you can go to with the highest possible return and opportunities. So it is pretty cool. And this is the show you get to learn, man, do I have my elevator pitch together? Do I have my marketing materials? Do I have my shirt with my logo and my hat? Get those things together, and if you have any questions about it, call or text Ty, 417-483-2764. Join us tomorrow, join us Tuesday, and we thank you. So, Sue, thanks for another great show. This was another interesting show.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie, this was interesting.
Okay.
All right. Because, the kids say, I ain't gonna lie. It's a thing all the kids say. I don't know. All right. So what do we say, office?
All right, office. What do we say? Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon.
All right.
Peace out. Take care.